And now we should be able to get things going. All right, got that. And oh, okay, let's see here. Whoops. Was there somebody else that I missed it. Let me get Kay here. I knew I missed somebody. I thought I saw them. Okay. Welcome, Kay.
Hello, Kay.
Welcome to the program. I see she's still connecting. All right, so I'll go ahead and get the slideshow going again.
Okay.
And need to there we go. Now I can share. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eco-Friendly Crafting. Today, we're going to be working on birdhouses. Our presenter today is Alice Ariza. She is our crafting maven extraordinaire here at Independence Regional Library. She always amazes me of imaginatively putting things together that I would not have imagined myself. So you're definitely in for a treat today. I'm your facilitator. I'm Christy Buchanan Roman. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and get this going. Today, this is Eco-Friendly Birdhouses. I hope everybody had a chance to pick up their kit before the program. If you were not able to, I did send everybody a materials list before the program. Let's see here. Just a quick review of some Zoom features. If you've not used Zoom very often, whenever you log in, you are by default muted. You would want to turn that off if you wanted to ask a question. Also, if you would start your inverted video, we encourage folks to turn that on. Even if you don't necessarily feel comfortable with the video, if you could just angle it down to the project that you're working on, then if you reach a point where you need to ask a question, or maybe we could help guide you, we can see what's happening on your side. And also we'll have the chat feature option. I'll share with everyone the instruction sheet if maybe that's missing from your kit, and also a link for books and other resources after the program is over if you want more information. But with that, just a disclaimer, because this is such a unique program, we are going to record today. Again, if you feel uncomfortable with that, just angle your camera down to your work if you feel more comfortable with that. But we really encourage participation. So if you can go and leave your video on, that would be great. But we understand if you feel uncomfortable with that. Let's see here. If you enjoyed this program today, we also have another program coming up in July, very similar. This is going to be for creating a vase and paper flowers. So if you enjoyed it today, go ahead and go to the library's website and sign up for the next program in July. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Alice to get you started on building your birdhouse. So I'm going to close out of here. And I'm going to turn it over to Alice. So let me change the view here, and then you should be good to go.
Thank you, Christy. First, I would just like to say thank you to Christy for being so supportive and taking care of all the technical issues A to Z with all your patience and your know-how. It means a lot to me. I know it's a lot of work, but you do it passionately. So
you're welcome, Alice, anytime.
And also I'd like to just say thank you to everyone who is attending today, because I know how valuable your time is. And but this class or this little workshop, I think, has a lot of value. So I hope you will have no regrets. And so thank you all. And so now I would like to just talk about some of the tools you'll need. First off, you'll need a mini glue gun or a larger one. The mini works well for me. I'm going to go ahead and angle my camera down. See, I've got my glue gun and it's already hooked up and nice and hot. And I've got my little glue sticks. This is a mini glue stick, hot glue stick gun. And I've got quite a few here. I may not need that much, but I'd rather have more than not enough. And then I also have an array of tools, being that these kits are already put together. There's not going to be too much cutting involved. I hope you can see my little variety of scissors. I've got some really tiny scissors to get into little corners, and it's got a point. So this one's nice for puncturing holes, which is what I used for the kits. And then I have larger ones. This is like one of my favorite pair of scissors. And then, of course, I'll have a pencil or pen and a ruler. Can you see those okay? Regular old ruler. And so now that I've shown you those tools, we'll start with the kit. Now, I know some of you may not have a kit, and that's okay, because you have your alternate list. And I see the Marin family had a lot of great materials to use on their birdhouse, including the potato chip bag. And let's see, you probably have maybe some sticks or little silk flowers. How many people did not pick up their kits? Just so I have a little grasp on, was it just the one family? I know it was the Marin family. So maybe everyone else has their kit. Can you hear?
So I think so. Let's see here.
Okay. I just want to kind of get a gauge of, you know, I think what I'll do is start with the kits, but I don't want to leave anyone out if they don't have a kit. And so then I can maybe alternate between using a kit and just the alternate pieces. So let me go ahead and angle this down again. And so here is my ideal bag that is actually used, and this is a it's a 7.5 ounce bag, which is perfect for a half-gallon carton. And so, as silly as it may sound, it works. What I do is just slip. First of all, you'd have to, you know, cut one end, the bottom side, and you can just slip your milk carton side. So basically, you're going to use this as siding. I call it siding. And I do have one birdhouse here that I made using a potato chip bag. In fact, you can see here, it's got the print, which actually looks kind of nice. It has sort of a vintage look. And so maybe Sophia was asking about the potato chip bag. And so if you are using that, you will go ahead and line up your bottom edge of your carton with the bottom edge of your potato chip bag and find where the top edge is. And, you know, and it doesn't have to be exact. That's what I really like about doing these types of crafts, because nothing is, for me, ever, you know, exact or so precise that I can tell you that there are a lot of little, maybe mistakes that I made, but somehow it just adds all the more charm because it's a handmade item as opposed to a, machine made, piece of art or so. And I know because you're all in attendance, you like working with your hands. So I appreciate that very much. So you can see that I did cut the side of the chip bag. And so now I can proceed to, well, actually, before we adhere that, we're going to make a cut down the front. So here's the top. You've got the big hole where the spout is. And then with a pair of scissors, you will cut or puncture a hole that's somewhat parallel to the other side, right on the top. And then at the front side, it would be facing you to the right of the larger spout, and you're going to make a door. So what I'm going to do is puncture a hole a little bit lower than, I don't know, maybe about 4 inches from the bottom. Let's see here, I've got my handy ruler. It's about 3 inches, but again, it's not a precise thing. And then I'm going to make some slits on all sides. So it looks like a cross. And then I'm going to take my larger scissors and cut a little deeper and wider so I can get either a square or rectangular size opening for your door. A much smaller door than the kits. And speaking of kits, we'll get started on the kit in just a second. Okay, so there's my little, probably 2 by 1 inch door. And then go ahead and glue just a few. Because this plastic paper is so light, it will not take a lot of glue. That's a really nice thing. So just add some glue along the side as you wrap. It's almost like wrapping a present. Okay. I'm actually going to need more glue. How's the Marin family coming along? I know you had so many great outdoor things like twigs and leaves. How's it coming along? You have an image?
We're taking steps with the hot glue gun.
Yeah, the hot glue gun can be a little tricky. And,
I have to make sure not to touch the tip.
And then we're also using tape.
okay.
Less exciting.
Yeah.
Tape works. I didn't bring any today, but tape is definitely a plus here.
Oh, that's quite a production that the Marins have.
Yeah, but we like to make a mess here.
Oh yeah, that's half the fun, right? Okay, so I've adhered the siding, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift over to our attendees that have a kit. So the first thing you're going to take from your bag is your liner. Some of you may have a patterned liner, others may have just a solid color. It could be yellow, purple, or blue. So start at the shorter end, because you'll see where the door is, you have a shorter end here, and then it's a little bit longer on the other side. So if you can undo the back, I know sometimes it's a little tricky. Let's see if we can. Okay. It's sort of like when you're in the grocery store and you have a plastic bag and you're trying to get that edge apart. Okay, once you get your edge going and you peel it, don't peel the entire thing, just peel up to where the door is. And the reason I say that is because it's going to be easier when you start to adhere it. So you won't have this part all sticky and flapping around, and see, because it is very, very sticky. As soon as it makes contact with the carton, it will stick. Okay, so then just very carefully place your focus on the front where your door is. And if it has a few little crinkles in it, that's okay. That will just add more character to it. So, holding the edge, just get as smoothly as you can. And again, don't worry about little creases. Just make sure that your edges are sticking very nicely to the carton. And now at this point, we can go ahead and peel off the rest of it and go around the other side. Can you all see the screen okay? And then we'll put it, this is the back end of the birdhouse. And there you have your, what I call siding. And so the next step will be your string. Let's see. Which would be inside your envelope. It's already pre-cut. And I knotted the ends just to make it a little simpler to feed through the hole. Of course, the one side is very easy to thread. And then you have the smaller end, but it shouldn't be too much work. Just kind of poke your finger through there. If you need to, you may need to make your hole a little bigger. You could just take a pair of your scissors, line through. Is everybody doing okay with the thread? Okay, so now we've got the thread fed through both ends, or the string, I should say, threaded. And so we'll just leave that loose because that will be tied at the end. And the Marin family, did I say your name right? Is it Marin? Did you have a string to feed through the top?
Yes, we have some, I guess, twine or burlap string.
Okay. And your carton, does it have a spouted hole in it?
Yes, I just need to puncture the other side still.
Okay, great. And you were able to feed it through?
Well, they're busy decorating it, so.
It was mostly camouflage.
Yes,
No problem.
they moved on to that second step, so I'll go back to it and puncture it
Okay,
later.
sure. I just want to make sure you were good.
Yes, we have everything you can imagine.
Yay. Okay, so as far as the kit is concerned, Let's see, now we're going to move on to gluing the plastic shapes, which consist of several little pieces. Let me show you. You've got, well, this is your roof. And again, some may have a different pattern or color. And then you've got a longer strip that's going to go along the base of your carving. And then you've got this little arched shape that will go above the door. And then what I call the gables. And those will go at the top near the roof. So we'll start with the base. We're going to attach the longer one, and it's already pre-folded, so it should go on. You'll want the open ends to the back. And you'll also notice that there's a tiny hole that's going to help you put your stick through. And since I don't have, oh wait, yes, I do have a hole. Okay. So we'll go ahead and use our glue gun, just enough to attach that piece to the front. And of course, you know, you have to hold it just a little bit so we'll get a good hold. And now we'll move on to the second side. And I'll be interested to know who will be putting their birdhouses outside or maybe keeping them indoors. I haven't put mine out yet in the yard. I've made about 3 or 4 just for fun. And they're all inside my house. But I think I will put one by a window somewhere, you know, in a tree nearby so I can watch the birds hopefully come to visit. And now I'm just about done. Can you see the screen okay? So there you can see it's got a nice little trim on the bottom. And if you didn't have the kit, you can put, you know, leaves down at the bottom on your, let's see, let me make a little hole here. And that's for the door. See, this is going to be easily, now some tape would help me, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to take a little glue. Get these corners tucked in. And, you know, this plastic material is so fun to work with because it's very flexible. It glues easily. And I'd rather see it, you know, on a little crafty work of art than it go into the trash. So, I mean, although, you know, you can't save it all, but it's nice to be able to use it. And of course, you know, you do have to wash it. Make sure that you use some dish soap to get all the oils off of it or whatever debris might be on the inside of the bag. So there's that. I'll show you another little birdhouse I made that might give you some ideas that has some little plastic leaves on it. If any of you attended last year's, I know the Marin family did, you're familiar with the little leaves that I made with plastic. These came off of a coffee bag. But of course you can just go outside and grab some leaves from the yard and make it look just as beautiful. So let's see, am I going too fast for anyone? Or maybe someone has questions so far? Are y'all good?
I haven't seen any questions in chat, Alice.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Okay, so getting back to the kit, now we'll go ahead and put on the other pieces. So all I need is about three or four bits of glue, and I can attach that to the little door. And it's already starting to come together. And before I put the gables on, I will put the roof, because then I have something to kind of help me know where exactly to put the gables. So the little round edge is going to go to the front. And then the point is the back side of the birdhouse. So we'll start by putting just a few dabs of glue down the center. And attaching it. Some of you may have gotten a more rectangular roof. They weren't all the same. I'll show you what that looks like. Some of you may have received this type of roof, but it works the same. You'll put that middle edge down the center of your carton, and then I'll go ahead and put some glue on the side edges to keep that intact. And this one's gonna need a little bit of time to stick. If I let go too soon, it'll just come apart because it's soft. Let's see, I think that worked. Okay, now oh, wait a minute. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to feed the string through the roof. So that's an important little detail there. Yeah. Okay, now this hole is a little bit small, so I'm going to puncture it without puncturing my finger and make it just a little bigger. There. That's perfect. Do we have a lot of crafters? Is anyone doing this for the first time, or maybe you've been at it a while? Does anyone have any experience? I'm pretty sure the Marin family likes working with their hands and making arts and crafts. Okay.
Yeah, we're going back over and doing a base layer because we realized that we have lots of bare spots.
Okay.
Teeth in the base before we.
Not me. I don't have a lot of bare spots.
You covered yours really well.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
just
So paint first if you're going to use the raw carton.
Did you have more than one carton that you're decorating?
There's one for each kid.
Okay.
We've got we tried the plastic ones, but they're almost impossible to pierce the hole. So for the door. So we just went ahead and use cartons instead.
Yeah, okay. And the plastic that you had, where did you get it from?
I mean, they were lemonade containers originally. But I even tried to burn a hole in it, and it just was not very effective.
Oh, wow.
It has too many rough edges, so we decided to go with the milk carton style instead.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that plastic is really, really hard. Yeah, I guess because the carton is, primarily paper, and it has like a little bit of plastic coating. It is a lot easier to work with. Okay. So the roof is now on and the string is fed through. Those that have kits, do you have any questions so far? Everybody seems to be doing okay. All right, so I'll proceed with the gables and see, I've got two different patterns. Some of you may have two sides and others may not. And I'm just gonna give that some pressure on it. Back side. I've been known to burn myself quite a bit. And if any of you use a hot glue gun, you know what that's like. It's kind of hard to avoid, but so far I've done pretty well. I haven't burned myself today. So, okay, now we've got the roof. We've got the little gables and the arch. We have the base. Okay, and inside your little envelope, you've got your perch, little popsicle stick that should fit to the opening. Mine's just a little bit tight. So again, I'm going to use a pointy pair of scissors and just kind of dig into it to make that hole a little bigger. And before I do any gluing, I do want to make sure that it's going to go through relatively easy. Okay, so now that I've got the stick in there, you'll notice that maybe there's about an inch on the inside and a couple more inches, 2 or 3 on the outside. So you do want a longer piece on the outside sticking out. And put some glue on the inside. And I will actually put a little on the outside, just a dab, and let that dry on its own. What I've done with some of the others, the previous ones that I've made, I added a piece of paper on the inside, or plastic. I don't know if you can see it. Just to help support the stick. And let me see if I have. It's a piece of paper right here. I'm going to go ahead and fold it over. Just make like a little wad of paper. And again, I didn't bring any Scotch tape. Scotch tape would have helped me here, because then I could have just wrapped this little bundle. But meanwhile, I'm using some hot glue. And of course, I have to hold it just so it won't fall apart. Does anyone have their birdhouse that they'd like to show me so far? How's it going? You're about done? Oh,
Yeah, we can show you.
oh my, that is so nice. So what did you think? Was it easy?
Yeah, almost.
It took a little bit of work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It gives you the concept that, you know, if you wanted to make more of these, you could. You know that it involves having a bit of a pattern. You know, you have your little roof and your little pieces and your perch, and they'll all be different. you want them to have their unique little designs. Like I say, I've made about 3 or 4, and they're all different. That didn't work too well. But okay, so now you've got all your little embellishments to add. It just gives it some charm. Each of you received a little silk sprig. And so I'm going to go ahead and attach mine and very carefully, but not too much, but I still want to have enough that it's going to stick. Okay. Again, you'll want to hold it down a little bit just to make sure it's secure. And then you also have some stickers that you can just put on all sides. And if you, I think you did also get a little butterfly. I'm going to put this butterfly in the front. And you can add all sorts of little embellishments to give it more character. And I'm just putting these randomly, anywhere just to fill some space. But again, you can add twigs. You'll see this one has some, natural twigs from my yard. The arch was made up of maybe 4 little tiny pieces. And then I've got one directly on the perch. And then over here on the little flower. And then this side also has a twig. And the back, all sides except this one. So please use your imagination, because this is the best tool that you have, your imagination, so you can give it the personality that you want it to have. Let's see. Oh, and then I also had this little crinkly paper that, actually looks like a nest that I could stick inside, and it just kind of completes the whole thing. And then of course, your knot up at the top, before you hang it, you'll want to close that up. And then you can either keep it indoors. You can use it as a little, a space for office supplies. If you didn't have the little nest, you could put paper clips or pencils, anything that you'd like to use it for. I think it's very charming and kind of sweet. And so getting back to the non-kit, I do have this other roof that I'm going to go ahead and attach. And on top. And what do you think of the chip bag? It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? It's a
I think
unique,
it looks cool, Alice. That's such an ingenious idea.
yeah, something that I'm not sure how I even got that idea one day. I think I was just bored. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try to recycle that in a fun way. And
What attracts your attention to a chip bag that makes it a good candidate for a birdhouse?
I think just because it's soft, it's very pliable. Again, it glues very easily. It's easy to cut with scissors. And there's just so many like colors, when you go through the grocery store and you look at all the plastic, it's so colorful. And even the print, adds some charm to it. So how's everyone doing? Have you reached a point where you think your projects are done? Oh, let's see. Kay has hers done. I like the way that looks. And Alitza, let's see who else. Sharon.
Yes, we can show you. This is
Oh,
Oh
our
my goodness,
birdhouse.
wow, look at that.
Yay.
Wow.
I love it. Do you think
Yay.
you'll put it outdoors or keep it inside?
We will decide later.
Yeah.
Probably outside for some birds.
Oh, that'll be great. You have that beautiful window behind you and you have a tree. I could imagine seeing it there and the birds flying up to it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you so much for this project. We had a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you were able to come and, yours looks beautiful. And, you have, like I said, you have the idea. You can, make something bigger, better, brighter, whatever you decide. It's always fun to explore different things.
Yes, it was. My daughter likes a lot to prepare, to do crafts, to do different
Yes.
things. So it was very fun for us. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
we're so glad you had a good time. Thanks for participating. Was there anything else that we needed to do to complete the project, Alice?
At this point, no, I think, the Marin family, they had so many natural resources. I know they had lots of leaves and twigs. I would love to see how theirs came out.
Yeah.
In fact, that would probably attract, more birds because it just looks like a part of
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah, we're gonna show our
Okay,
birdhouses.
we got one done, and the other one we're still
Oh
working.
my goodness, look at that.
It's in Scott Play Fingers.
That looks really cool.
This one's mine so far.
So
Okay.
we'll send a final picture when we get done.
Yeah, and then I noticed you did have a lot of leaves and twigs and maybe pine cones. That was a great idea. Because, it's like we don't even have to go to the craft store for all those, great materials. Just look around you and inside your house or outdoors. There's plenty, surrounding us that we can use. And like I say, just, plastic, it ends up in the garbage and, I don't even want to think about the rest. I don't want to get into that subject, but I do like to use some of it for, art projects. So I hope I've inspired you all to do that. Maybe before you toss something in the trash, take a look at it and say, what can I create with this? Whether it's a straw, I've got straws that I just wash out, and again, the possibilities are endless, what you can do with a straw. And in this case, you could even use it as a perch for a birdhouse. So,
That's so true, Alice. It's so just ingenious. I wouldn't have thought that. Or maybe a chopstick. That might be
Oh,
another
yeah.
thing for a perch.
chopsticks for sure.
Yeah.
I do have many books on my Bibliocommons, and Christy will feature that link for you. But-
Yeah, I posted the link in chat for everyone if you like.
Yes.
And
If you visit the library, whether you come inside and get an actual book or go to the website and access ebooks, you'll find hundreds, if not thousands of books on paper crafts and all sorts of fun projects for families and or adults. If it's something you want to do on your own or as a group with friends or family, I would encourage you.
yeah, I can share that list if people want to see it. Let's see here. Here is that list. If you want to comment any on what folks are seeing with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of favorites. I do also enjoy flower decorations. And for those of you who may not be aware, next month in July, we'll have our paper flower project with the vase, as Christy mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
I actually did get this idea from one of our library books. These have a rather unique look to them. They're thicker than a regular flower stem, but it makes it so much easier to stick in a vase. So if you'd like to sign up, please do so. And we'll continue with our fun next month.
Yeah. And thank you, Kay. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. She mentioned that in chat that she said that this was fun. So
Oh, I'm so glad. And anyone who'd like to send pictures of your finished craft, I would love that.
yeah, you can send them to the email, like the emails that you received. I made sure that you have both mine and Alice's email. So if you want to send something to us, we'd love to see your finished projects.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful, Donna. I hope that you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Donna, from Florida.
Yeah.
Awesome. I hope to see you here in Charlotte. Come say hello. All of you. Thank you. Alitza and Sophia and her family. Let's see, who else did we have? Tammy, was Tammy here?
Yeah, Tammy was here, and then I guess she got disconnected or something. She was trying it on her iPad, and she must have had some technical difficulties, I think.
Well,
But the nice thing is that it's recorded, so she can go back and
Yes.
pick up if she missed something.
access it.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much. It was a lot of fun. And I hope to see you all here in the library soon. And don't forget summer break, that you can add this as an activity. And I think it's worth 20, which is great. And just have a lot of fun this summer with your reading and your little vacations. If you decide to stay in town or go somewhere, be safe, all of you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Alice. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up today. But again, if you have any other questions, please reach out to us here at Independence Regional Library, and we'd love to see you.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. You're very welcome.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.